What's going on, beautiful people? CGR, the author of A Lover's Compendium, here with another raw and real, unedited, unfiltered, just giving you the business and telling you what's going on. Hey, so I had a topic that I wanted to talk about today because it's something that I've noticed is happening a lot. And this is happening for people that are single as much as it's happening for people that are in relationships. And that is, we can't let fear be the decider of what we do. And we can't let fear be the preventer of what you want to achieve. What I mean by that is this. So people, we come up with a lot of fears, right? Think about it. The media, movies, TV, everything that we've been consuming for years and years and years now has been training us to be afraid. You know, this is why in the 80s and 90s we loved horror movies, because they just, it was fun. It's fun to be scared sometimes. It is. Like, you get a little endorphin. It's the same kind of thing like when you're going on a roller coaster or you're going on on a scary ride or something like that. Like, that little exhilaration. It's like, I think humans, we like to be afraid as long as we know that we're safe afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, that little bit of fear is exciting for a lot of people. So I get it. I understand that. But that's one thing I never got the memo with. Since I was a kid, I was a little guy, and I was always minding my own business, but at the same time I was always like interested in whatever I liked, right? So back in the 80s and in the 90s, nobody really talked about like playing video games. Like today, you see that it's like a cool thing and it's like a social thing. It's things that people do for clout. You know, they play video games, they watch other people watch them play video games, all that stuff. I make video games, so I love them, and I always have, and that's always what I wanted to do since I was a kid. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about like the fact that I see fear stop so many people from living the life that they want to live. And I'll give you an example of that. I'm going to give you an example of something that I noticed the other day. And I spoke to the person about it, but I'm going to keep their confidentiality and not talk about who they are in case these videos become popular later and everybody's like, yay, and then I don't want to do that. So anyway, there was this person. He liked a girl, and that girl that he liked, he thought she was out of her league, right? So he didn't want to talk to her. So I asked him, I noticed that he was kind of like looking like he wanted to talk to her, like he was telegraphing it, and he didn't want to do it. So I went and I talked to him, and I was like, hey, how's it going, man? How are you? And he was like, good. And he looked like he was nervous, like he didn't want to like really talk. And I was like, hey, I noticed you were, talking to that girl or trying to talk to that girl. Oh, thank you. Crossing the streets here. Yeah, so I told him, like, what's going on? Like, what's happening with that girl? Like you talking to her, but I see you don't go up to her. And he said, yeah, man, no, because I want to. Like, I like her. We talk every now and then, and she's really nice. But, like, I feel like she's out of my league. And that's something, man, we have to stop that as a human race, as a people, as a society, as a collective in this world. That doesn't serve or benefit anybody. Because, first of all, let me tell you something. I didn't talk to her, but I can tell you based on how I know a lot of women. I'm friends with a lot of women, right? Like, I get along with women. I always have. And my wife and I would, she's not just my wife, she's like my best friend in a way. No, she is. I would say that definitely. I don't even have anybody else closer to me than my wife right now. But I can tell you one thing. That girl who's out of his league, in her mind, she's not out of anybody's league. She's probably wondering why she doesn't look as good as the other girl on the left of her or on the right of her that's doing this or has that going for her. And honestly, at the end of the day, we're scared. People are scared, People are afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of rejection. And I totally understand being afraid of rejection, even though I didn't learn that until later in life. Because like I said, when I was a kid, I was all about like just wanting to play video games and wanting to hang out with people that like the stuff that I like. So, it didn't matter to me if somebody was like beautiful, attractive, hot, whatever the words is that people look for. And it was the same thing when it came to like the kids that were considered cool in school. Like, I never considered myself as cool, but I always end up hanging out with those crowds. Why? Because I think, and especially this happened a lot in New York, and I grew up in 3 different places, right? So I grew up in New York City, in Queens mostly, and then I also grew up in Waterbury, Connecticut, and then Miami, Florida, Hialeah back in the days. And I met friends in all places that I went to. And maybe it was because I never really had roots, I never had a house that I could say like, this is my house where I grew up. For me, it was like growing up all over the place because my dad and my mom, they were split since I was a little kid. So, I was out there, and I guess I was just trying to have the most fun that I could and just enjoy the ride for what it was worth. And actually, I need to learn something from the young version of myself. The young version of myself gave like 0 Fs about what people thought. And for a while, even I had this like thing happen where, I mean, look, 2015, I started my company, Mana Entertainment, and I started it, and I was fired up, and I was excited, and I was thinking things were gonna go great, but nothing went great. Nothing went great. The only thing that was good from 2015 till now is that I eventually met the team that I'm happy to be with. And you know, like these are my people, like they understand me, we get to know each other, we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, so we know what we can do and we know what we can't do. But you know, aside from that, I always viewed it as, oh, I haven't made any money yet, I'm failing. And then this is gonna bring me to the example that I'm gonna use of two people who I'm also not gonna mention their names. But yeah, brings me to this example. I had this, I call it the imaginary audience, right? Like right now I'm trying to build an audience, I'm trying to connect with people, and I really do honestly want to serve people and help people. And of course, I mean, who doesn't want to do something good and actually, you know, be able to live off of it, right? So I want to get it to the point where I can eventually serve people, help people, and then not have to do things that I don't love doing. Like I have a passion for creation. I have a passion for creating video games, creating art, music, you know, anything that's creative, that's my jam. I love it. But I also have a real strong passion since I was a kid, and it comes naturally to me to help people, right? So that's why I wrote the book that I wrote. The book that I wrote is meant to help people. It's meant to be a guidebook that you can just pick up and you can, you know, refer to it every now and then, and you can practice the stuff that's in it. And you know, I'm practicing the stuff that's in it. So again, like I'm not trying to position myself as some sort of guru or that I'm better than you or that I know more than you just because I haven't been, you know, just because I wrote the book or whatever. I'll never be that character. That's not who I am. It's not in my nature. So anyway, yeah, these two people that I know, they're together. And they've been together for a very long time. Now, I know both of them very well. One of them I know better than the other. But I know them enough to know that they are terrible for each other. They are not compatible. They do not match. Their ideals are not aligned. Their morals are slightly aligned. They have the same religion, but you know, two people from the same religion can be wildly different. And that can't be more true for these two people that I'm talking about. Now, this one person, on the male side, the male is deathly afraid of losing his son. And this is the person that since I've known since we were kids, and I know that this person has never been afraid of anything in my life. So to me, it's so strange, it is so weird that he's basically putting himself through a living hell because he's afraid of what the wife is going to do if they get divorced, and he's afraid that they're going to take his kid, right? So keep that in mind, that fear. But then we also got the woman on the same angle. She never really was feeling him the whole time. She was complaining about him. She was saying that he's so dumb and he's this and he's that. Never nothing positive, you know. It was only positive, like she's only positive when it comes to her imaginary audience. The same problem that I had. Because we go around life and we think that everybody's paying attention to everything that you do and everybody's gonna nitpick everything that you do. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Like seriously, like you can go through your life thinking and feeling like everybody's watching you and nobody is. But then here's the crazy part. You do that for long enough and then eventually what's gonna happen is, and I don't know why this works this way, but I know that it works this way. What eventually will happen is that you will end up basically doing a self-fulfilling prophecy. So these two people, going just to finish their story, they're not happy together. They're trying to pretend, they're lying to themselves and they're lying to everybody, I guess, who's in their circle, that they're happy. And they want to, on social media, they'll post pictures of hugging and kissing and going on a date and my hubby this and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, it's fake. It's completely fake. And it's sad because I feel like on their own, both of them are not bad people. They're just not good for each other, you know? And that's something that when you read my book, that's something that you'll see that's in there is that I talk about, you know, it's like I was saying in the other video the other day, like I'm perfect for my wife because I know her temperament, I know her personality, and it's not just that I know it, I match her. Like I'm strong where she's weak and she's weak where I'm strong. Like for example, today, she was fixing the cameras in our house, right? We got those ADT Google Nest cameras or whatever. She was fixing those. And that's typically something that traditionally men tend to do. But I don't know if you guys ever watched this anime called Full Metal Alchemist. but there's a character named Winry, right? So my wife's name starts with a K. So I call my wife Winry because just like the character Winry, she's like super techie and like, not techie, she's like mechanical. Like, and it could be because she's Japanese, and maybe Japanese people are just like, they like solving puzzles and like doing those kind of things. So she views it as puzzles when she does all those kind of like building and assembling stuff. And I don't like doing none of that, right? But the fact that she likes to do it, and then she doesn't like doing a lot of the things that I do to take care of like the cars and the house and, you know, certain things that like I don't like doing, she does. And we complement each other like that, you know? So it becomes easier. Like, you fall in love with a person, and in the beginning, everything is going to be great because you're just basically, you know, like pouring out all the positives, and the negatives don't pop up as much because you're not comfortable yet. When you're in a relationship, you start getting comfortable a little bit later, you know, like it takes a few months. Like, that's what people call the butterflies. I think that's a misinterpretation. That's just basically like, I mean, you can call it butterflies, but it's basically just riding a high, right? It's like you're getting high, but it's a little bit extended because when it comes to love, there's nothing more powerful in the universe than love. And like, that sounds cheesy and that sounds like a joke, but it's really not. You know, love is the most powerful force known to man that we can think of, because love can conquer things. Love can change things, you know. When somebody loves themselves and you start loving yourself for real, you just notice that everybody around you starts treating you better, starts treating you with more respect. They start looking at you in a different way. But then here's the crazy part. When you practice loving yourself, you don't do it for that, because that would be doing it for them, right? And it's okay, and it's recommended. I myself, I'm a person that I love giving. So like, for example, I had $2 in my pocket the other day, and there was a homeless person, and she was embarrassed. Like, she was looking for people to ask, and I guess she asked me, and she said, "Hey, do you have $2 by any chance? Like, I just want to get a sandwich from Walmart." And back in the days, I would have taken that as, oh, she wants to use it for drugs. So no, I would never give homeless people money. What I used to do was I would tell them, come with me to wherever you want to eat, and I would get them, you know, a food, or like food and a drink. And I was like, it's gonna be more than the money I would have given you, but I want to make sure you're gonna eat and drink. But man, this is a story for another day. But we were watching a documentary on homeless people, and like, I always knew that being homeless was hard because I helped the homeless people in South Beach in Miami a couple years ago. I used to go with the church, and we did this thing called Gospel in South Beach, where we used to, you know, just take care of the people out there and like give them food and talk to them. And we got to know a lot of them, so we knew the struggle was very real. But yeah, so anyway, point that I'm trying to make is fear is, I think, the major problem that's holding back people, and not just in love and relationships, but in everything. Because, for example, I failed since 2015. I failed to do anything significant. I shouldn't say that. See, that's something that's coming from the old me that didn't love myself, that thought that I was a piece of crap. The old me thought, oh, I didn't do anything, but that's not true. Since 2015, we got our first game, Space Exodus. We got it almost ready, so that never panned through, and that's okay. But the work that we did on it is still there. It can still be built upon. And then the next game that we're working on, that we're trying to push right now, is called Oria's Call. We got that game completed, and in the process, I met a lot of cool people and a lot of trustworthy people that I now have as part of my extended team. So I was able to get that done, and honestly, I was able to get that done with very little money. And I'm very grateful to my wife for being able to do that for me. But the only reason I was able to go that far in the first place is because she loved me so much that she was willing to provide for me. And then not just provide for me, but she told me that she didn't want me to quit. Like, there was like 3 or 4 times that I was like, look, baby, this company doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I'm not having good luck. I'm not having good, you know, things are not working out. So, you know, let me just drop it. And she told me, no, I want you to follow your dreams. I want you to do what you're going to do. So this is what I mean, like, when it comes to like the kind of relationship that I want people to have. And this is why I'm so, like, I'm making it such a big deal that, like, we got to drop the fear, right? Because if you read my book, if you read it and you read some of the things that I tell you to do, it's nothing out of this world. It's nothing that's crazy that you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm risking my reputation. It's nothing like that. But the honest truth is, a lot of people won't even get that far because they'll be scared. Like, oh, what if somebody says this? Or what if somebody thinks that? But you know what? What if somebody thinks that? So what? What is that going to do to you? Are they going to somehow make you disappear or like destroy your house with their thoughts. Because if they can do that, that's another problem that we're not equipped to talk about. My book doesn't handle that. I don't deal with 11s and psychic destroyers and freaking Vecnas over there. Yes. So yeah, yeah. So by the way, no script again. So if I'm rambling too much, whatever, we'll try to fix it. We'll try to adjust it. Let me know what you guys think. And I hope that I got my point across. I think I did. But the point, let me end with this, because we were talking about fear, right? This video is about fear. So when I was a kid, like I said earlier in the video, people just loved me and liked me for absolutely no reason. I never understood why. And I think what it was because when I was a kid, I didn't think negatively of myself. I was never like arrogant or full of myself. I never thought like, oh, I'm so great, I'm the best person ever. But I was just very comfortable as myself. I never felt like I was needing to be something that I wasn't. I never felt like I was afraid to be who I am. I expressed myself, and I was like, if people don't like it, that's their problem. I don't care. I don't need them. Like I'm enjoying myself. Like they can do what they want. They can have the problems that they want, and they can fix their own problems. I'm not here to fix everybody's problems. Now, I am here to provide you the tools to fix your own problem, but I'm not going to fix your problem. You're going to fix your problem, because that's the whole point. Like, I used to think self-help was a bunch of bullcrap, but anyway, let me get to the ending, to the closer here. So I was very well liked. I was very loved as a child, and I say as a child, but I mean like all the way up until high school, I would say. Like up until high school, I was always liked everywhere that I went, whether it was Hialeah, whether it was Miami, whether it was New York, whether it was Connecticut. It didn't matter. Like everywhere that I go, people liked me because I liked me. But then something happened when I went to college, and after I met my wife, I came to Orlando to go to Full Sail University. And when I was out here, for some reason, I think I remember what it was. It's because we were going to a church before that. The same church where we did the awesome work in the beach for helping the homeless people. We were going to that church, but the pastor of that church at the time, he was kind of teaching us this thing of like, if Jesus suffered and went through hell and he got crucified, like who are we to complain or to think that we should be rich or whatever. So I developed this kind of guilt and this shame. And this guilt was like, I don't deserve to be good. And somehow in my mind, I think I take things and I run with it. So it wasn't just, I don't deserve to be loved by people. It was like, I don't deserve anything good. I don't deserve money. I don't deserve success because, if the Lord, quote unquote, which I don't believe in that faith anymore. And I don't have anything against it anymore. But I was pretty mad at that religion in general, especially when I learned the history of things that happened between my ancestors in that religion. A lot of people were persecuted by the old Roman Catholic Church. The old world, that's just how it was. Things were different then. But yeah. So it just turns out that after a while, I believed that for so long that when I got to like 2 or 3 years later, when I was going to Full Sail University, I started being very, very, like self-hating, I guess. Self-loathing, maybe? I don't know, but the point is, I didn't think highly of myself. I thought people don't like me, people don't want anything to do with me, and eventually, I guess because I thought that and I believed it so much, it started happening. It actually became the case where I no longer had friends, I no longer had people that would like me and talk to me. But then now, since I've been doing all the work I've been doing on myself and learning how to love myself and, being easier on myself, because we're so freaking mean to ourselves, man. Like, we're so harsh and so cruel to ourselves, more than we are to our worst enemy. There's things that I've said to myself in the past, that if I'm being completely honest, that I wouldn't have said that to my worst enemy, because I would have thought, man, that's messed up. Like, don't say stuff like that. That's not right. But it's okay to say it to myself. Like, no. We gotta do better than this, people. We gotta do better. We gotta be better. But my point is, your mind and your thoughts, your beliefs, your heart, whatever you want to consider is the birthplace of your thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs, wherever that is that's coming from. You gotta, it sounds cheesy to be like, oh yeah, just be positive and don't think negative thoughts. But it's not just that. It's not just that, because you will believe something that you feel very strongly about. And if you strongly believe something that's negative or self-destructive or, harmful to your own value, to your own self-worth, that's never going to be a good thing. And especially if you're out there and you're single and you're trying to date with somebody, with so many people are confused out there, so many people are afraid. So all this fear leads them to do things like acting like, Oh, I can't call this person back because they're gonna think that I'm too clingy. I can't text this person back because they're gonna think I'm a loser. Oh, I have to ghost this person so that I can appear cool. You know, all this stupidity and all this like men hate women crap and like straight hate like the LGBTQ and all this ridiculous stuff that you see on the internet. That's a few people that's basically, and it's not even a few people, it's a few bots that's bringing that crap up. And it's all bull crap, really. It's all designed to keep you afraid, because the sad truth is, when you're afraid, you're easy to control, you're easy to manipulate. And when you're easy to control and you're easy to manipulate, guess what you will do? You will do the actions and the behaviors of a scared person, which is buy something to drown it out, whether it's drugs, products, or vacations, or packages, or lifestyles. They got something to sell you. So the more scared you are, the more inclined you are of buying something, because you want to get out of that fear. Nobody wants to live in a constant state of fear. But here we are in America and this modern world, you know, they're trying to get you to be scared. But like, honestly, I just hope that if I've convinced you of anything today, is that at least give it some thought, man. Like, you don't have to live like this. You don't have to be scared of anything, because the worst possible thing that could happen, the absolute worst thing that could happen to you in anything, is that somebody or something can tell you no, right? Like, you can see the most beautiful girl, guy, whatever floats your boat. I don't care what you like, as long as you like something, right? You can see the most attractive person and think to yourself, oh my God, they're out of my league. I'm never going to be able to have them. Like, oh, like, will they even talk to me? But I can tell you from experience, many times in my childhood, I thought that a woman was out of my league. And then when we ended up being like dating or like, you know, hanging out together or whatever, she would always tell me like, I don't know why guys think that about me. Like, why do they think that I'm this unapproachable thing? And you got to remember, at the end of the day, they're human beings. You know, everybody's got insecurities. Everybody's got fears. And it's okay to have those. But what's not okay is to let those fears dominate your life and control how you live. So I just got home, gonna check the video, and if I'm not gonna do any editing, but I will probably come up with like a thumbnail or something, so at least it looks a little nicer. All right, that's everything for today. 21 minutes, about to be 22 minutes. So CGR here, much love, peace.